Never had one lesson. Oh, well, hello there, my flute of the loons. Loons? Flute of the loons? Yeah, that was pretty bad. So in today's episode, you're going to meet my pal, Ari. Ariana? I think she goes by Ariana. I'll call her Ariana. So Ariana was kind enough to bless me with her presence here at the home studio, and I was able to take some shots with my Mamiya RB 6.7 Pro SD using the Kodak Gold 200 medium format film. So we got to do that, the very much coveted, difficult to get 120 format rolls of film, or película para fotos a color. I don't know if that's the correct translation for film, and yes, film is, I guess, película, but película is kind of more referring to a movie. But anyways, that's how they translated it. And I also was able to shoot with my Canon 5D Mark IV for some digitals. That's how I lure them in. And you'll see some dope behind the scenes footage of my shoot with Ariana. And I'll chat briefly about my saga with my light meter. This is one of the better light meters that you can get. Now there are more expensive ones. So we'll talk a little bit about light metering, some of the issues that I've had, and some solutions that I found. So stay tuned, it's gonna be a good one. So finally, the Kodak Gold 200, the coveted, difficult to get, medium format film that I ended up having to buy from the guy where I get my photos developed with like a 35% markup. But hey, it's the price you pay because photographers are hoarding film, and I guess that's okay. I want to start doing the same. I'll keep my eyes open for film, and when I have a good week, I'll purchase a whole bunch of it and start hoarding it like toilet paper. I really enjoyed shooting with the Kodak Gold, and there'll be more in regards to how my experience went in regards to shooting with the Kodak Gold 200, but I can tell you right now that I love it. My experience with this film is really positive for a few reasons, and I'll get into that later on. But first, let's talk about Ariana. Ariana is a pal of mine that has been shooting with me for a few years now. I think I first started working with her back in 2016. Ariana had been working with a lot of photographers here in the area where we live in the region. She had been having a good time, I guess, doing that. But when we met, we vibed really well, and I was able to really take advantage of something that was really needed in my body of work. A lot of times there are great models, great collaborators that are willing to be like the best, and they're petite or average height, and that's okay. Like, I am not one of these guys that's gonna get picky about who I work with, but I do try to be intentional with the kind of ideas and vision that I have for my shoots. And Ari was gonna be providing something really wonderful. She's about 5'11". I felt like she was doing great work online with different photographers. She's amazing. She's got such a sweet soul. A lot of times I collaborate with people for a really long time and I don't know anything about them, and I just collaborate with them. She's just a hometown favorite here at the house. We've shot so much in the past that I couldn't even begin to show you. In the past 3 or 4 years, there's been a lot, and here's some of it now. Ariana told me that her mom is actually a big fan of our collaborations, and out of all the photographers that she shoots with, I'm her favorite. Maybe I'm not her favorite, I don't know, but I know she enjoys our shoots a lot. I mean, I'm most moms' favorites. Moms love me. Now it's summer 2022 and Ariana's back. So we decided on 3 looks. I told her just bring as many outfits as you like. We'll sit and choose what would be best, but I told her to keep it summer because it was going to be hot, we were going to be outside, and it was going to be summer vibes. And I wanted to create this like outdoor shower scene that I'd been wanting to do already for almost a year and a half, just like since last summer. I wasn't able to put it together. I bought all the wood, I bought all the supplies. I basically wanted to create an outdoor shower scene that looked like it was tropical in an island somewhere. It's not exactly how I would like to have it, but it was something I threw together because I knew Ari was coming. So here it is.
So here's the portion where I shoot with my Mamiya RB 6.7 Pro SD. I get to elaborate on the Kodak Gold 200, the coveted film medium format that just got reintroduced into the market. I bought this box of Fujifilm Pro 400H, which is discontinued by the way, and it was so easy to get. Yet this film that had been just introduced by Kodak, I couldn't get it anywhere. I talked about it a little bit in my last video, but for whatever reason, it was difficult to get. So I ended up getting it from the guy where I process my film, and I got to shoot with it. I have a 5-pack, and I was really selective in the shots that I wanted to take with Ari. I was so selective that even though we had 3 or 4 looks, I only have 6 photos. I don't actually get 10 shots I get 9. For whatever reason, I get 9 shots out of the medium format. And I think that people with the RB67 Pro SD have been saying that they can get 10 shots. I don't know what I'm doing differently that I'm not getting 10 shots. I only get 9. But in any case, it's okay because 9 is a good number. I'll do 3 for each look if there's 3 looks, and it ends up working out just fine. But in this case, I only shot 6 because I was preserving the film so much, being so cautious that every look that I thought we were doing, I'd say, okay, well, maybe I'll wait, because the big finale was going to be the stuff with the water. And so I got done shooting all the digitals and I picked up the Mamiya and I said, let's go for it. And so Ari was wet already. She'd been shooting in the water was getting cold, and so I didn't want to put her through anything further. So at this point, we got the 6 shots, but I'm very happy with the way they came out. I think they're beautiful. I love that there's a flatness to the color scheme. No fancy, like my biggest complaint about this film here, the Fuji Pro 400H, it has like a vibe to it where like there are more blues and purples and the hues are a little bit different. And I guess that's okay if it's like 1990 or if it's like 1980. There were no filters. I guess at the time it was refreshing, but I don't find it that great. And I know I've been complaining about it in my last videos, but the reason I don't like it's because it's not true to form. I want something that's matte. I want something that's flat, and not flat in a negative way, because it is a nice color that you get with the Kodak Gold 200. But what I really like about it is that leaves room for it looking, it's like you're capturing in your most natural state. This feels like an Instagram filter. I don't dig it. And so I like this because it's true to the color of what you're seeing. Pleasantly surprised. I did not do any editing to the shots because I felt like I was so happy with how they looked in its natural state. Now, something different that I discovered, because I was having trouble with the process of getting my negatives back, scanning them, and then figuring out how they were supposed to look. And I didn't know if I was doing something wrong. Even though I was using my Sekonic Flashmate, this thing's like 250 bucks. I don't remember the exact price. But when I bought it, I thought this is what I need to have, right? You need a meter to measure your light. It has all the features. You can watch videos on YouTube about it. And when I got my Canon F1, I was using it. And then when I got my Mamiya RB67 Pro SD, I was using it. I remember seeing some content stating that people who own their digital cameras can just use their digital camera set to how you want it to look, make it match your camera, and then you can shoot with your film camera after you meter with your digital camera. And I was like, that's dumb. Why would I do that? It takes away from the whole vibe of like keeping it real and being a purist and shooting film, and like this is what you need to do. And it just got really expensive because I started to shoot my photos. I don't know, they just weren't right. I put the Sekonic down. I followed the advice of somebody I saw on YouTube, and I took my 5D Mark IV, basically used that to meter, because sometimes you're just one stop away from perfection. My goal is not to do this, right? It feels like cheating. And I know that maybe it's not, and maybe it is. I don't know. So I'm going to keep it real, and I'm just going to do this for a little bit until I can really speak the language of learning my settings and not needing it. I'm really proud of how these came out, even though I was doing it this way with my digital camera. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to continue to practice by metering with my digital camera, but I'm going to try it with the Portra 400 and see if there's a big difference, because there's a difference in price. So I want to see if there's a difference in how the pictures look. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe.